Hi, I'm Nichelle from Passionate CNA Homecare Service LLC, and this is another episode of Homecare Chronicles. Today's topic is the biggest misconceptions about CNAs. The biggest misconception about a CNA is that they are not licensed. In the state that I live in, which is North Carolina, CNAs have to go through a class, then they have to do clinicals, then they have to take a state test where they will receive their license. Each year they have to have credit hours so that they can renew their license, which means they have to have the credits and they have to have worked at least 8 hours within that year to be able to renew their license. So CNAs do have a license. CNAs are not maids. Just because you are CNA does not mean you're washing windows, you're scrubbing floors with a toothbrush, that you're taking out trash, that you're beneath anybody, because you're not. Being a CNA is something to be proud of, because CNAs are not maids. They are not maids. They are not at the bottom of the totem pole. They are essential to any healthcare team, whether it's in the hospital, whether it's in home care, whether it is in the nursing home. CNAs are the first line of defense for any care providers, care teams to even be able to work. The next thing is that a CNA became a CNA because they could not become a nurse. Anyone can become a nurse as long as they put in the time to do the schooling that they need to get in order to be a nurse. Sometimes people don't want to be a nurse. That's why they become a CNA. They don't want all the responsibility that comes with being a nurse, but they care for people. They are compassionate. They are loving people. So they become a CNA to be able to fulfill that part of their life by caring for other people. CNAs are not just cleaning poop all day. CNAs are comforters. They're counselors. They're problem solvers. They have so many different responsibilities. They have to make sure that their clients, residents are eating, that they are getting bathed, that they have dignity, that they're able to be compassionate, able to communicate. They have so many different levels to what they do. So CNAs are not just poop cleaners. Okay? Another thing that is a big misconception about the CNA field is that they don't make any money. Now, I myself have been a CNA, and I'm not going to say CNAs get paid what they should. I'm not going to say that. But you can make a great living being a CNA. You can. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to be on the trip every week. I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that you can go and blow $2,000-$3,000 in a night being a CNA. I ain't saying that, but I am saying that you can make a good living for yourself being a CNA. There are CNAs that have started businesses, that have 401ks that look nice, that have bought homes, that have bought cars, put kids through college. They do a lot. They do make money. It may not be what everybody feels like they should be making, and most CNAs do not feel like they make enough for what they do. But the point of this is to give you misconceptions of what people think about CNAs. A lot of people think that CNAs are lazy. They just don't want to do no work. They just want to, sit down. CNAs do a lot of work. I don't care where you see a CNA, they work. They might not be working when you see them, but they work. A lot of times they're on their feet just as much as the nurses are on their feet. In home care, it's a little different. You have a little bit of downtime, but at all times you're doing something. Because even if the CNA is just sitting there, they still have to listen. They have to be able to see the client to make sure that the client is safe, that the client's needs are being met. So they're still working. They're not aggressively working, but they're still working. I'm looking down at my paper to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And another misconception is that CNAs are not real nurses. Duh, they're not nurses. CNAs do a lot of things that nurses can do, but you're right, 1,000%, they are not a nurse. Duh, that's common sense. They're not nurses, but they know a lot of things, which lets you know that CNAs are very educated people. CNAs are competent people when they've been trained correctly. CNAs are vital to all areas of home care, health care, in the nursing homes, in the hospitals. So if you have CNAs working with you, for you, take time out to thank them for what they do, because they are a vital, vital part in this home care industry. And without them, all of us, no matter what area of life you're in, all of us would be affected. And you know that because even when COVID was here and they were talking about the strain that the doctors were having, the strains that the nurses was having, you heard little about CNAs except when it came to home care. You heard a lot about CNAs, not being able to get to work, CNAs getting sick and things like that. You heard a lot about it in home care. But what about the CNAs in the nursing home? What about the CNAs in the hospital? They were fighting that fight right along with those nurses, right along with those doctors. They were fighting the good fight too, as well. So a lot of times in home care, you think about the doctors, the nurses, and forget about the CNAs. But the CNAs are the vital piece to that puzzle. And if you have CNAs working with you, for you, let them know that you appreciate them. That is why there's so much retention and turnaround in this field, because the CNAs are not being appreciated. No, you can't always just give them money, which most of them, we won't. You can't always give them a raise, but thank you goes a long way. So make sure that you are making sure that your caregivers, your CNAs, know that you appreciate them. Family members, if you have a CNA that is doing their job, they go out above and beyond, just give them a simple thank you, if nothing else. This has been another episode of Homecare Chronicles, the misconceptions of CNAs. I am Nichelle from Passionate CNA Home Care Service LLC. We are here to keep you healthy and at home.